Hello, I'm Dr. Vincent from the University of Rwanda. Welcome to Unit 3, Developing Skills, Helping to Address Climate Justice Issues and Equity in this unit. In this unit, we will learn how to address climate justice issues and how to promote equity in addressing climate change's impact. The unit focuses on three components. 1. Understanding the concept of climate justice and equity. 2. Key skills for addressing climate justice and equity. 3. Development of skills for climate justice and equity. Let us start with the concept of climate justice and equity. It is important to understand that not all people contribute to climate change the same way. The truth is that the world's richest 10% are responsible for 50% of greenhouse gases emissions, while the poorest 50% are only responsible for 10%. Therefore, in effort to address climate change, the burden should not be borne by those that have contributed the least. This is what climate justice and equity is about. Climate justice and climate equity are the two concepts that reflect the fairness in dealing with climate change issues. Climate justice concerns recognizing the disproportionate effect of climate disruption on marginalized groups and future generations. On the other side, climate equity is the goal of recognizing and addressing the unequal burdens made worse by climate change while ensuring that all people share the benefits of climate protection efforts. The fundamental skills to address climate justice and equity must be based on creating understanding and awareness of climate issues in different categories of people and actors, including governments, community leaders, and community members. This can be done through creating a participative approach and knowledge with various actors such as in schools, community centers, business activities, religious organizations, and public administration to understand climate change effects and bring sustainable solutions. Another way is predicting and prioritizing the vulnerable categories by thinking about an effective disaster response and a well-planned intervention in the case of extreme events by considering how to assist the overburdened and underserved groups in the case of emergency. It can also be done by elaborating climate actions and making policies by considering the vulnerable people, communities, and poor countries that struggle to respond to the climate recommendations elaborated in a global context. Now, how to develop skills for climate justice and equity. The sustainable way of developing climate skills is to use various types of education, being formal education, informal education, and non-formal education, by promoting trainings of various categories of people. The first way of developing skills for climate justice and equity consists of bridging knowledge creation and dissemination about climate justice and equity. In this context, some approaches can be used. 1. Instilling in the student ideas that knowledge, skills, responsibility, commitment, and values about climate justice and equity are essential qualities of a good citizen. 2. Making climate change causes as cross-cutting issues at all levels of education, from nursery to the university. And 3. Empowering young people with critical thinking skills that can support them to be at the forefront of the green transition to inclusive low-emission economies and apply knowledge regarding restoration of natural resources in the environment and support communities to face climate issues. The second way of developing skills is to promote community-based action and awareness for climate justice and equity. In this context, some actions can be done. 1. Organizing public meetings on environmental and climate justice issues to gather public input as a baseline of communication and participation. 2. Providing technical support and capacity building to local government, youth associations, and community groups representing disadvantaged communities for them to implement climate action. The third one is creating opportunities for all people to increase knowledge on climate issues. As we conclude the third unit of our course, I hope you found it informative and engaging. Be sure to read the materials, take the quiz, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. Thank you very much for your attention.